Okay, once again doing a little show for Tavy's preschool class, so I thought I'd try it out. Okay, so there's this cowboy who goes into this bar in the Old West. He walks up to the bar and says, "I'd like a sarsaparilla, please," and drinks his sarsaparilla. Now these the people in this town, they don't get many visitors, so being all full of the orneriness, they hide his horse. They take it around back to the corral. So he finishes his sarsaparilla and he walks out, and his horse is gone. So he comes back in and he says, "Now this is just what happened in Santa Fe, and I don't want what happened in Santa Fe to happen here. So tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk right up to that bar, I have myself another sarsaparilla, and when I get done, that horse had better be back." So he walks up, has the sarsaparilla, and by the time he's done, he walks out, and lo and behold, there's his horse is back. So he's relieved and gets out and gets up on his horse and starts to ride away. And somebody comes up and says, "Hey, mister, what happened in Santa Fe?" He said, "Well, I had to walk home." So, okay. Well, the first song that we're going to sing is a song about a cowboy and his horse. So there's some different movements that you can do for this one. A cowboy needs a horse. You can ride a horse. He's got to have a rope. You can twirl your lasso. He's got to have a song. You can sing a song. He needs a hat. You can put on your hat. Fancy boots and shiny spurs. Do you guys know what spurs are? They're the little pokey things on the heel of your boot. So, so it's been a long time since I've heard this song, but I thought I'd play it for you guys. Oh, a cowboy needs a horse, needs a horse, needs a horse, and he's gotta have a rope, have a rope, have a rope, and he ought to have a song, have a song, have a song, if he wants to keep riding. Now a cowboy needs a hat, needs a hat, needs a hat, and a pair of fancy boots, fancy boots, fancy boots, and a set of shiny spurs, shiny spurs, shiny spurs, if he wants to keep riding. Oh, the fence is long and the sun is hot, and the good Lord knows that a cow's and I lost my place. You gotta keep riding, riding along. So he gets himself a horse and a rope and a song, and he finds himself a hat, fancy boots, shiny spurs, and there's nothing more he needs and can have or can get if he wants to keep riding, riding along. Okay, so there's this cowboy who's just just went into town to go to church, and he comes back to tell all the ranch hands how going to church went. And he said, "Well, I drove up in my truck, and they put it back in the corral." And one of his more worldly friends says, "Oh, you mean the parking lot?" He said, "Yeah." And so then I walked along the trail to the church. He said, "You mean the sidewalk?" It's like, oh yeah. And then there's this dude who came up to me at the door. He said, "Usher?" He's like, yeah. And then he walked me down the aisle and sat me in this chair. He said, "Pew?" He said, "That is what the lady who was sitting next to me said." See, he was a stinky cowboy. Yeah, anyway. Here's a song about a farmer. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a cow, E-I-E-I-O, with a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there, here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo-moo. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm farm he had a horse, E-I-E-I-O, with a neigh-neigh here and a neigh-neigh there, here a neigh, there a neigh, everywhere a neigh-neigh. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had an elephant, E-I-E-I-O, with a roar here and a roar there, here a roar there, a roar everywhere, a roar. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a rabbit, E-I-E-I-O, with a here and a there, here, there, everywhere. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Okay. So, there was a cowboy, and he was out fixing fences one day, and he had his Bible in his pocket. And so he was riding along, and somewhere on the miles and miles of fences that he was repairing, it slipped out of his pocket. And so he didn't realize it until he got all the way back to the bunkhouse. And oh, he was so sad because it was his grandpa's Bible and he didn't know how he was going to get a replacement. Until this cow came up carrying his Bible in his mouth. And the guy said, "Oh, that's a miracle!" And the cow said, "No, not really, because your name's written on the inside cover." Okay. Okay. So, I don't know if any of you guys have seen a movie called Joe Versus the Volcano with Tom Hanks and, what's her face, which I'll figure out what her name, Meg, is it Meg Ryan? Anyway, my exhaustive research on this show, but while he was floating out in the ocean, he plays the ukulele, and he plays this little song here, which is one that I really like. I was riding my horse by the Rio Grande, and all those coyotes singing a prairie symphony. Ikey, Ikey, oh cowboy, Ikey, Ikey, oh, Ikey, Ikey, oh cowboy, 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 under the moon. I was riding my horse down by the Rio Grande when I saw me a cowboy, 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 riding towards me. Ikey, Ikey, oh cowboy, Ikey, Ikey, oh, Ikey, Ikey, oh cowboy, 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 under the moon. Giddy up.